Tuesday, 3 o'clock sharp, and welcome to all the fathers, all the protectors, all the providers, all the intentional fathers who make sure that they are there for their children, who make sure that they're not sticking with the stigma of saying that they are absent, but making sure that they stay the cause. This is Fumani N. Shiluvana. I'm a father of 3 children, and I am sure of it. So today's episode, it'll be an interesting one. It'll be an interesting one because we're talking men's health. Men's health, in a sense, we know that so often, for example, these are the stats that come from reliable sources, SA Stats, that 2024 mid-year, estimates life expectancy from birth, for black South Africans, something from between 48 years old to about 60. Or whilst the white side, it's 71. We'll come to that. On average, men in the country, they just go over above 63 years old, and then women live a bit longer, which is like 79 years old. Then we'll ask, why is the gap? Because the culprit, especially with us men, is between men between the age of 35 and 45. That's where the culprit is. Yes, we can talk about Kore. Normally, men take more dangerous jobs. We take risks in certain things that we shouldn't be taking risks in. That's what could also contribute. But there's another factor, a factor where I think which we will talk about, because there's a perception that when you play sports, you are healthy. When you're active, you are healthy. When you are out there making sure you are in a basketball court like Theo here and I were at some point, he's still playing, you are healthy. That is not the case. That is not the case, because they are silent killers, guys. They are silent killers like high blood pressure, diabetes, prostate cancer, cholesterols. These guys, they don't care if you play sports or not. So at a certain age as Majita, we need to be able to understand you need to go take a test. That's why we are here today with Mr. Theo. Mr. Chauke, by the way, we played basketball together. How old were we? My goodness, we still playing these sports. Teenagers, ne?
Probably from 16.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we're going to 50s, still playing the game.
You're still playing, bruh.
Yeah.
How's that though?
No, it's good. It's good. You readjust, go to the categories which suits you. Masters games, play with your same age groups.
Anyway, let's introduce Theo. Theo, I know Theo is a gentleman from Konkoa, but who is Theo? Who is Mr. Chauke?
Mr. Chauke, it's someone who loves sports, someone who loves health issues, someone who do a lot of community works, involved also in organizations such as Nkonkoa Youth Cups, where we assist kids in terms of keeping them active into sports. We do yearly programs. I'm a coach, basketball coach, and I'm also in the professional world, a pharmacist, and also being involved in executive of Tshwane basketball. So active love sports. I'm a lover of sports, any sports that have to do with sports, but the first love is basketball.
Do you have any soccer team?
Yeah, I do. I still play soccer a bit. Masters, favorite team currently, which is doing well, Kaizer Chiefs.
Why Mosha? Why? Oh, look at them.
Yeah, so
look at the guys that. Anyway, you guys are doing well. That I won't take away from it. Which is good, I think, for the league, for competition.
And for health people's wise, people are healthy now that Chiefs is playing well.
Where does that perception come from, though? Because Chiefs is doing well, everything does well.
The economy is doing well.
The economy is doing well. Anyway, so where does Theo grow up? Where does he go to school? In what kind of household does he grow up in?
I grew up in Konkoa. I went to various schools. I started my primary school from Dududu to higher primary Ritavi. Then I went to Banguna, from Banguna, and then went to Meridian, where I matriculated in 1997.
So I also, I also went to Dudu, by the way, but it was later in life where I knew who was Dudu. So Dudu is my great-grandfather.
Oh, wow.
He gave birth to my grandfather. I did not know that. I did not know that. But anyway, so Banguna, what triggered you, Kuri, pharmacy? What did you want to do when you were in high school?
Through my career path, I started doing my first qualification. I did a diploma in chemical engineering, which I graduated in UJ.
What the?
But you feel because of the passion that you have for certain things that you want to link together, which was sports. So the derivative of sports, I think it drives me to find myself in the health environment, because we only tend to play sports, but we don't understand also the other mechanisms when to deal with, because we have medicine in sports, which some of the things were not done. You don't get that information. You realize that career path of engineering is not what suits you. You need to find something that you can readjust in terms of life, living, also mix it with sports and all that. So I felt that pharmacy was the best choice in that particular time to go back and redo that qualification.
So wait, so basically what you're saying, you've got a degree in chemical engineering?
No, diploma.
A diploma in chemical engineering, sorry?
Yes.
And also another qualification in...
BPharm, Bachelor of Pharmacy.
That's college, okay. Did you want to be a doctor at one point? Or someone at home suggests could be a doctor?
No, for me, I always been passionate about sports, but I needed to link the two things. So I felt through taking gaps and research, I realized because there's a lot of things in the market that we see. Being a sports doctor was there, but the ideal, you don't have those career guidance coming in. It was easy to get to the point where you can do research in something which is quickly linked with sports.
I mean, if you can look at it, I mean, a lot of our people, when we grow up, there's a lot of talent, but because we're not mixing it with science, meaning food, how you grow up, how you eat, the biokinetics and all those things, don't you think that makes us lose a lot of talent?
I believe so, because when you grow up in communities where you didn't see those role models coming in, because it was a common careers that you will see, being a teacher, being a doctor, being a nurse, but because the path were closed in terms of not with the current generation, we have everything in our hands. We can access information to say, you can go to this career, but you don't have actually to work probably with pharmacy. You don't have probably to work in the pharmacy. There's other aspects where you can deal with sports medicine, where you can give advice to certain medicines that you can use in terms of which medicine can you use while you are playing sports, which one you cannot use. That information was never there. So that now that science has opened a lot of things, the internet, it's easy to get information, to link many things in one, to understand which career path you go, also with what you want as a person to grow in.
How did basketball come up in Gongwa, by the way? Like, what happened? Because back then, it was soccer, basically. Who came up with basketball in Gongwa?
When we started, it was an issue because the tennis courts was clouded with many courts. So we had 4 courts, and everybody was playing tennis. And then I think the late Chauke and the late Temba, because I think those guys, they have an idea of what was happening. They started putting tires in the court, put it up there, we start shooting hoops. Next thing, he came with rules. The next thing, the team is formed in 1992. Then still even now, the team is still there, because that's how it started. It's somebody just came up with, especially the late Temba is the one who brought all.
Which Temba?
Temba Baloi.
Temba Baloi.
Yeah.
No, I don't think
No, he passed on, and it's some of the issues that we touch on. He passed on, he had cancer, and he was still young. And
We'll come to that.
Yeah.
We'll come to that here.
yeah,
So that's how the whole thing was introduced. Because I mean, till today, the team is still there.
yeah, the team still exists.
When they funny looks, could people from America.
I think we didn't have that stigma when we grow up because we didn't have a lot of guys listening to that rap music. People dress properly. We're just normal people because we didn't have that culture, because the culture of America started coming when the internet was open. So that's where it started coming. But as who grew up in those generations, we didn't have that in terms of it influencing how we dress up, how we talk and all that. You are just a normal things like you go and play soccer. Yeah.
And then let's go to family now. What kind of household did you grow up in? Father, mother, siblings?
I grew up with, we are two at home with my younger brother. Both parents but divorced. Yeah, it was good growing up in a sense that you get advice. My mother was a community builder working for government, doing a lot of community project. My father used to work for Triple C where they used to make boxes. So it was great growing up. So yeah, it's challenges of life happens.
Of course, no.
Yeah.
Those are things that we can't avoid sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, Mara, in terms of, let's talk about, I'll say things that you said you've learned or observed from time. What are some of the lessons that you think you picked?
I picked, my father loved the music. Yeah, he's a kind of man who, he was responsible, but you know men and their time, space, and you just learn things because he was a street guy. He was a gentleman who loves his fashion. Yeah. Yeah, he loves his sports. I learned a lot of sports from him. I mean, I will do a lot of data analysis when it comes to sports newspaper, when you analyze teams. So I've learned a lot from him. Like, yeah, that's the way the sports came in, because he was a fan of sports.
So basically, men also kind of not improved, encouraged reading.
Yes.
In a way, indirectly.
Yes.
Because data analysis, you really have to go into something and do something and make up your own mind out of that.
Yes, because like, you know, when you start reading newspaper, I will tell you the first thing that you do is you read it from the back page, because you know the back page is sports. And it will tell you about clubs that are all over the world, where the newspaper starts, tells you which clubs are likely to win the league. So those things, you took it for granted, but as you grow, you start understanding, actually this is something which it didn't have a weight when you grow up, because we never understand about data. But now when you grow up, you start understanding what this actually means in terms of data analysis about clubs, how many times they've won, who's likely to win, how many times they've won. That it became, sometimes when I sit up with him, I said, look, hey, you taught me a lot. I never thought this, now that is coming. And we were just observing to say, as a normal way of doing things all the time.
But how do you think such things actually disadvantaged us? When I say I'm talking about us as black people, the fact that there's a lot that was removed intentionally, by the way. Do you think we would be... Do you think we would be where we are if we were able to name, for example, what you were doing? Because that thing had a name.
Yeah.
Do you think such things put some lot of disadvantage in us as Bantima?
I think it does in a lot of ways, because not having access to information, it's a big problem, because a lot of people have taken wrong career path because of not understanding how to link things. And our counterparts, because they have access, they knew us because we were put in a certain environment to say this is where you belong in terms of career path. But now as we develop, we realize, look, there's a lot of things that we can do. You don't have to be successful. You don't have that stigma that you have to be a doctor. There's a way of things that you can decide. Like, I'm sure if we got information, guys who play sports during those times, they could have probably, most of them could have gone to Europe if they understood the culture of probably the internet, the culture of being exposed to greater parts. A lot of guys who sit now will look back and say, but this guy could have played at probably EPL, he could have played at Spanish League.
How many people a guy, for example, that you, and of course, it will become from a biased point of view, but from Nzoko, Fuman, Marasa, Milakfamba, Marasa. Anyway, back to regular programming. Like, how many people, like, now this from an eye test point of view, because I know from my village, there are people that I recall, Kuri, no man, this guy, he was just too good. If there was development and other science around him, well, maybe not Europe, but there would have been something better out of him. How many people do you think Nkonkwa would fall under that category?
I think I would say 70% of the guys. If you look at the overall tennis guys, the guys who used to play tennis, the Bonke Shipala, Netulani, the Tulanis, the way they were playing that tennis, if they're exposed to the same environment where their counterparts, they were exposed in the equal environment. It shows even now that we had one of our basketball players from Congo who became one of the best in South Africa because of the exposure when he went to university. Now that talent, it went above what, because now you went to go into university where you realize actually his game is equal to other guys who are there.
And by the way,
Yeah.
Usungli late.
Yes.
And when we say late, because remember, we started basketball guys when we were 15, 16. That's when we started. That's late.
Yes.
He started late. On this, I played for provincial, by the way, for Limpopo, USASA, whatever. Everybody USASA, that university thing.
Yeah.
But I started late. Imagine what would have happened if we had all that information, all that guidance, coaching. Simple thing as coaching. I mean, like, you know, as a basketball player, Kuri, without coaching, those fundamentals, they will knock you.
Yes.
Sometimes a person is selected in a team, not because they're skillful, because they just master fundamentals.
Yes. Basic stuff.
And if you're not taught those things, you're going to go, you know how people are, whenever they go into court, the first thing they want to do this with the ball. You think like, what are you doing? So in general, shouldn't we do more? Like, I know you said you have a foundation that, or rather an organization that you deal with such things. What then do you do in that? What then do you do in that to make sure that these kids are developed further?
In terms of that, because we partner with the local teams, we brought local teams to understand the opportunities that are there, especially that are in Gauteng, in other places, to say, when it comes to sports, mix it with your education.
Yes.
It's a crucial part which we do in terms of to say it's not about playing, but when you partner or with the local guys to say, look, make sure your kids probably each and every year you bring them to Gauteng to come and play against the big academies, so like they will be exposed to such level, because we are at home. A lot of kids here in Gauteng are more exposed than our kids because the opportunity has too many this side. So yeah, I think those partnership with local teams assist us in terms of making the program being successful.
Someone said this the other day, Korim. soccer. It was in soccer's context. Ne?
Yeah.
It was in soccer's context to say, have you realized, Corey, the soccer league? Fumani, Human kunen maras. At the soccer league in Gauteng, because of the level of competition, James, because of the level of competition, when you compare them, or rather, when they play with the other kids from the other provinces, the ones in Gauteng, they look far ahead. Why? Because they play against the Sundowns, the Pirates, the Chiefs, the Vets, which other one is very big in terms of development. So because these guys are always playing against each other, their level keeps on improving. So I'm glad you guys are actually bringing these kids here, because it does that for them. Eventually, hopefully, even though the competition is not as hectic on their side, but eventually it will do that for them.
Yes.
So, Mara, can't we do such, having more clinics, or not clinics, clubs that can compete at that level, Alamakai? Because we, at one point, traveling to Joburg every time is very expensive.
I think what we need to mix in terms of growth, because the one thing that we are still lacking in terms of our places, it's the nature of how the kids are trained, nutrition-wise, because it's not just only about playing sports. Those kids, because they have access to high quality environment where they are being trained, because you taught to train certain muscles in a certain way. So our coaches are just trained to play sports, play football, pass the ball, but they don't realize that there's a differential culture in terms of overall physique of a child, what the mechanisms which we trained. It's no longer just going to run around the field all the time.
Hey, like we did.
Yeah.
Yes,
So science now, there's open doors. I think now the thing they need to just do is to get into the environment where they start having initiative where coaches the coaches, where you get people who understand diet, nutrition, physical body, and also other aspect of sports, because sports have changed. It's more into your gym facilities, which we don't have. You look at the kids this era, they have a lot of those opportunities to get to the gym, to say they put them into certain program, and you find a child who's at 10 years old, they're in the same age, but you find the people who have been put into program versus the one at home. You feel that kid, because of the muscle, they have muscle mass, because now you get weigh how your muscle mass, how many muscles you should have in terms of the weight of the muscle. When you look at us, they have talent, but their growth level, it's not into that, the physique, because this sport requires physique sometimes. It requires a dietary plan, nutrition, proper nutrition, because you can't compete with a child who's drinking water, the other one is drinking Powerade in the access to reduce their body. As when they will go, we still believe KFC it's a way to eat. While these kids are prepared to say, when you go to a game, these are the food that you eat, because based on the digestive factors. And then as we don't have that knowledge, we need to impact that knowledge for that to happen, to be the level up in terms of competing. Because it's not just about kicking the ball and that, it's a lot.
You are a father?
Yes, I'm a father. Father of 3 kids.
Father of 3 kids. How many boys, how many girls?
I have 2 girls and 1 boy.
Same for me, lesbian.
Yeah.
How has that been?
I think it has been a good journey with my kids, especially I have my firstborn is a daughter. I've introduced her into basketball. She's very fond of basketball. Now, currently, she's the only girl who plays basketball in the school with boys, which I've told her that even though it's disadvantage on her part, but I said that the real world it operates with a lot of men. So you're gonna find yourself in companies where you're gonna be probably one lady. So you need to readjust life.
And here's a good thing, though.
Yeah.
If she continues playing with those guys, when she goes to varsity and she continues playing there, she's gonna smoke them.
Yeah.
She's gonna. Anyway, so what is she? 16.
Yeah,
So
she's turning
nice.
16 soon. Yeah.
Has she really fallen in love to a point where she dreams it, she bounces it every second when she has the ball?
Yeah, it kind of a tough for girls to keep them consistent with a sport, especially if they don't find their counterpart in the same age doing the very same thing. Unlike with my son, he can just wake up and start bouncing a ball without being told, because it becomes a norm for them, because sometimes it discourages them to say, look, I'm in this environment, the physique I don't have, you have the skills you are playing against in the environment where there's only boys, you are the only one. So that motivation, you need to pump up all the time to say, look, yes, it's the environment, we can't do much. Yeah.
But how has it been being a father? Overall, in what are the lessons what has it made you better by being a father?
I think it's a discipline level, engagement and understanding their feelings and their needs, and challenge them in the direction of what they want to be. And it has helped me also to stay in lane with life, to say, you have brought this gift to life, you have to take care of them. And it gives you to that discipline to anything that you do. You think about them all the time. It's life must revolve around them all the time. 70% of that
even
time.
some risks that you used to do, you don't cross the road like you used to cross the road before. you think twice a little bit. Is there a car coming? There's no car I can go in.
Yeah.
and the boy, and how's the, so it's first born is a girl.
Yeah.
Second born?
It's a boy.
And then third born is a girl.
Yeah.
What's the gap in terms of, because my gap is crazy.
It's the first one is 6 and the second one is 5.
So the first gap is 6 years.
Yeah.
Then my gap is like literally 16, 15 years. My first born is 20, second born is 6. So how many years is that?
14.
14? Like that's how do you rather manage them in terms of being a team, being in a relationship, knowing that we are siblings? We have to understand that. And the little fights in between, how do you manage that?
I think it's the feelings that they have in terms of you being fair or not fair to them. They can easily pick it up. Yeah, because for example, if I go and buy sneakers, you can't bring one sneaker in the house and the rest, and they won't say it, but you feel when you give the other one the attitude and the feelings towards what you have just done. But it makes you aware to be, when there are fights, you listen to all of them to say what's happening. And sometimes you shouldn't make decision on your behalf. You should just guide for them to say, you ought to sort this thing yourself. Because once if you can't sort it out, it means I must become the judge based on what you have given me. Yeah, because those things, it makes you being neutral in all times when you raise kids, to say you can't show that, because for them, they might feel you love someone
more than the other.
Than the other one.
Once we cross that boundary, it's a problem with kids.
It's a big one.
It's because how do you then, because I remember my siblings, and I never understood that. But of course, I can't judge it, it's what they've observed. At one point, they're like, yeah, Mom loves you more than we do. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Like, what are you talking about? She's doing stuff for all of us. But again, whatever that they've observed, I don't know what it is till today. And I think one day I must ask them, what do you guys observe for you to come to that conclusion? Because my argument was, I'm like, guys, I'm at boarding school. The pocket money that they give me compared to you, who's not at boarding school, yours is higher than mine.
Yeah.
How do you now equate But point of the matter is, it's a seed that germinated in their minds, which it was true from their point of view. So there comes an issue of like I said, you buy sneakers, you don't have to buy sneakers. When they bring that up to you, you are being unfair, or have they done that yet? How do you handle that?
You handle it in a way to tell Kuri what was the purpose of buying this, because you still have proper shoes. Once those ones are fed off, then we'll go and repurchase for you another one. So you have to justify with something which is practical. Yeah, you can't just give them a theory. Show them to say why I did that. So for them, they realize that their turn is coming.
Let me answer this. Hey, Tekan. Sure. He has not replied yet. Ne? He has not replied. We're still at the house. We're still shooting. So, yes, because at the end of the day, if at no point and in no time, well, things are going to be equally balanced. So we are always basically it's a juggling exercise at every little cent, at every little corner. At school, one is high school, of course. What are their interests so far in terms of except the sports of the firstborn?
I think my daughter, she likes public speaking. She has done a lot in terms of language. Her interests. She wants to be a doctor. Yeah, but it's not a limitation to any times they can change their.
Of course.
Yeah, so all you just guide. And one thing about it is just to have a support system. If they want to change their careers, you should never stand on their ways. So, because we need to teach them the consequences of whatever they choose in life, that their choices matters, and we need to also have support systems. So, yeah, so she wants to go to the career path of being in a medical field.
Of course, it's not far, really.
Yeah.
So here's my thing about that with kids, but honestly, because remember at our time, there was a lot of parents who would want to really channel us in what they, is this one fine? His microphone, is it fine?
Yeah.
They would want to channel us in terms of what they thought or think we should be. I don't believe in that. I believe in observing these ones, making sure whatever that their interests are, you guide based on that. Because at the end of the day, earlier we spoke, we had an instance where people took a lot of careers which they don't enjoy.
Yes.
For me, there's nothing that's a killer to a person's spirit or soul than waking up every day to go do something that you don't like. So, is it something that you really want to, I know you said you do that, but how do you navigate that way? Do you actively look at them, what is that they want to do? Or you're like, okay, we'll see as they grow?
No, it's about engagement, asking them what is their interest, because tomorrow, because of how the things influence, the world influence them in terms of what's happening, the interest can change. That's why I'm saying it based on support system.
Yes.
Because support system, it means I can decide to wake up tomorrow and go, look, that's not what I want to do. And when they do things, you always tell them, don't do things for me. Do it for yourself, for your interest. So that when you don't have that thing to say, I'm doing it because my dad says I must become this. So always have a mindset. Like with my boy, he already made his mind. He says, look, I want to be a professional basketball player. I says, yes, it's fine. I understand you are thinking because you're on the game. But for you to become a professional, it means we must find a way to let you get out of this country.
That's the only way.
That's the only way. But in terms of the principle of in this country, you can't be a professional basketball player.
It's not practical.
It's not practical. So we need to find a way. But that interest, because you are 10, we don't know in the next 6 years what's going to happen. Will he change his mind and start saying, look, I want to follow your career path, or I want to do other things? So it's about engagement, to feel observed, like we said, to say what is his interest? Does he like other things? And then you start engaging and you start, so, okay, it's fine. Yeah, as long as you go and research about what you want to do.
And then who knows, maybe the basketball old guards would have gone out and they would have changed hands and money is flowing properly.
Yes.
There's better management and the league blossoms.
Yeah.
That can also happen.
Yeah, in the next 6 years.
In the
anything
next
can-
6 years, you never know.
Yeah.
You know. So is one that I would say struggle, but as a father to try to say, okay, how do you make sure you guide them at the same time with practicality and not disappoint? Because at the end of the day, as much as you say you have to be realistic,
Yes.
but also follow their dreams. My struggle, I try to do that as well, but my struggle is, isn't it painful a bit when you have to tell them and really, maybe, I would say crush their little hopes, but give them the reality of things. Isn't it painful when you do that to them?
Yeah, it's very painful because you talk from experience to say, look, I had to change careers based on what I love to do, based on what it was there in the market. And then you start having maturity about certain things, because sometimes it can also be driven by probably influence from their mates at school to say, look,
Naivety
this-
as well.
Yes, to say, look, this is the best profession. But when you start realizing to say, but I need to mix my profession with the passion of the things that I love, the things that will keep me for long in that profession. So it's painful for them when you explain to them to say, look, I changed careers based on, I felt that career was not for me. I felt people talk about it. We hear about saying, being a chemical engineer, you're going to be doing this, but you realize, but look, but I don't want to go to that path. It's not my thing. It's you understand science, you understand maths, but it's not for me.
How good was the science and math?
It was good.
Didn't get you into trouble because when you try to do other things?
Yeah, because if you are good in maths at school already, people they see you as someone that you must be a doctor, engineering, engineer, and all that, but not realizing that
You've got your interest.
Your interest also to be. It's not about that career. Yes.
I had the same problem, my brother, because maths
Yeah.
and science were good. So people like someone, they had calculated for me.
Yeah.
They had put a path for me. This is the path I must follow. I'm like, but no, I don't want to go back. Dude, and when I say I want to do drama, what? The time I got an A or B of maths, bruh. I was in trouble. But anyway, I think I want to skip to why we are here.
Yeah.
So, guys, I mean, when Ntakisi brought us together with this particular topic, from a doctor's point of view, I'm sure she sees a lot as Berlin.
Yes.
And of course, from your side as well, when people come and get medicines and stuff like that, we sometimes, by the time they come to you, honestly, it's late.
Yes.
Because when you get medicines, we're not either trying to prevent or stop. It's not even prevention anymore, is it?
Treatment.
It's treatment, actually.
Yes.
We're not at the treatment level to stop the progress of a particular thing. Guys, our age, there's a stigma. Let me start there. We know we was the silent killer that I mentioned earlier. The tests that are there, that are being announced every day, it's on radio, it's on social media, we can Google these days, we know the information. Why is it that you think, firstly, it's important for men between the age of 30, 35, 40, 45 going up? Why is it important that we need to go get tested yearly?
I think the most important thing about why men don't do as much as women, like now we just came back from Women's Month. A lot of things in that period women go from health issues, they in their groups, it's easy for them to engage. But when it comes to men, I think it's become a cultural thing. Like when you grow up, never seen your father going to the clinic says I'm going to do a test, and then also the stigma of silent. We are too silent. We are too silent. We don't want to talk about issue. It's easy for us to talk about Pirates and Chiefs playing.
I was going to say that. I mean,
yeah.
if already we have those environments, because as much as we don't talk, but think about it, when we're in a sports space, my brother.
Yes. So it becomes a stigma for them to say, if I go and say, look, I just came from doing a blood pressure check, or probably I just went to a prostate checkup or diabetes, people say, but why are you doing that? But you look healthy, not realizing that the same issues that women go through it. Like, for example, I'll give an example like menopause. We know that menopause happens.
We know it's coming.
But men, they don't talk about hydropause. There is a hydropause. Yeah. So those are things, people, they just think there's menopause, but they don't realize also men, we have the other side, which is the hydropause, which is things that affect us as men, like the testosterone levels starting going down, mood changes. Now you don't realize that you can go, actually, it's in the same line of any disease. But men are quiet, because if I come and talk about that, hey, I'm no longer sexually active, now people start laughing, say, but why is this guy talking about this thing? But not realizing it's the change that we go through, the same way women go through the changes as we grow up.
I didn't know there's something called hydropause.
Yeah.
I just got educated today.
Yeah. So it's those aspects that we men, we don't engage on such, because we just say now changing moods to say, but why is my mood? But not knowing your testosterone level is going down. And then you not realize that, but you can still, through properly active, your testosterone can be elevated a bit. And those are the things which we don't engage in. Women are easy, they have their own shows where they talk about all this thing. But us men, we are too silent, just the same way the diseases are silent on us. We say we are quiet to say, look, I look healthy, but why should I go and do a test? By that time, you realize late, now the disease has progressed. Now we have to go in treatment.
You're right, because let me give you an example with being. Well, I'm one person. I'm not scared to test. I'm very proactive with that. If I feel funny things, I jump. So 2 weeks ago, I'm starting to see blurriness. You know, I'm like, what's happening? You know. Anyway, it goes for day 1, day 2, day 3. I'm like, hi. I want to go to eye test. You won't believe what the doctor said to me. No. Chief, there's nothing wrong with you. I want to come back to your point, to actually prove your point. There's nothing wrong with you. This is normal for aging people. For people your age, normally because I've got, 2020, what vision, whatever, like I've got proper eyesight.
Yes.
I've lost 0 point something of your eye. You've lost 0 point something of your eyesight. That's why you don't see properly. Meaning, father, every 5 years, from now on, you're going to decline. There are corrective measures from Madlas that we can give Madlas for this, to do that. Now, my point is, we do go through changes.
Yes.
We just have to admit to go through them. But are you then saying to me, Kuri, even if we don't, because I don't believe there's much information now with you, man. There's a lot of talk about such things. We know people are dying. We know about prostate cancer. Yes, I didn't know about hydropause, guys. Let's know there's hydropause damage as well. We know there's cholesterol. We know there's diabetes. We know there's high blood pressure. These things are known. Why then, for someone to laugh at us, is it more important than death? Because that's what it looks like. Because people are scared to say, my sex drive is down. I've got high blood pressure. are we more scared of death more than those things? Because what could be the other justification for this?
I think it's a lack of also information. And when I used to work in the clinic, you look at the data stats of the people that were taking treatment. You will find a lot of women, because women they come, they are not shy or fear about what, because they want to live. But for us, it's if people see me in the queue to say I'm going to take blood pressure medication,
I'm weak.
Blood glucose medication or diabetes medication, you feel weak, but not knowing that if you could have done a preventative measures, it could be even less, because some of the things that we talk about can be prevented by just by mere things that we do, daily activities, 30 minutes a day of exercise. Those are the basic stuff. That
Change of diet.
Change of diet in terms of many things. But because we focus, if I go there, Fumani sees me that I'm going to the clinic and says, why is Theo now going to the clinic? And then you start. That's why you find a lot of people when they go and do the checkup, especially in local areas or rural areas, they would rather travel to town and do those things, because that's where they are not
in
secret, because there's a stigma in terms, they don't realize that when you come to any health facility, there's a confidential matter. We don't discuss why you are there. You are just like anybody else, where you go into the queue, you are there one-on-one with the health professionals. So, but because of that stigma that exists in communities, men tend not to, especially our black counterpart, because they don't want to be seen to say, I went to that clinic to go and get this medication. I went to go there to go and be checked prostate. You see, that stigma and cultural things, it still exists in the mind of many of us.
Cultural things like?
Yeah, culture, because men, they don't want to see as a weak people. They want to see as strong. By the time when you are diagnosed, that we realize to look, I could have been different. I could have gone there and have tested.
And you'll be there for your children. That's another thing. Because
Yeah.
the longer we live, you'll be there for your kids.
Yeah.
So, what are the most common health risks for Majita between 35 and 45?
If you look at the stats, your hypertension, diabetes, and prostate, because usually we sometimes not understand that our lifestyle is what's killing us, how we live, because you feel like, for example, hypertension or blood pressure, just because you see yourself being active, you feel, no, I don't need to do that, I'm healthy. But you don't realize that the food we eat, it also play an important factor. The family history that we come from.
Yes.
Yeah, because sometimes you come from a family where maybe majority they had hypertension, genetics, it matters. You look at diabetes. From my side, I come from a family, from my father's side, probably all of them from his side, they're diabetic. So those are the things that you start looking, you have awareness from it. But people, just because of young age, they feel, no, I'm still healthy.
No, strong.
I'm strong. I don't need to do this test. By the time this progressive of disease has happened, that way you realize, look, a mere test, especially with with what we have currently, you can just walk into any pharmacy, any clinic to do those simple tests. It doesn't cost much.
The one for, is it, of course, cholesterol eventually leads to diabetes, isn't it? Or sugar stuff?
No, it's just linked with your cardiovascular diseases.
Yes. I mean, like the one that they prick you on the finger.
Yeah, blood glucose.
Blood glucose.
Yes.
Doesn't it lead to eventual diabetes?
It's usually when you get checked for blood glucose, is diabetes. So it's related. So
my point that I'm making, look how simple that test is, brother.
Yes. You can do it anywhere, even at home. You can do those self-tests at homes.
You know, it's very simple. There's nothing complicated about that. Like, so anyway, so hypertension and diabetes. So are you saying to me they are silent killers because, as you say, Majita, we end up not talking. We are surprised why a guy in his 40s just drops die. That's why they are called silent killers.
Yeah, the silent, the meaning of the silent is because they don't give you signs and symptoms.
Okay, okay.
So unlike if you like you are sick sometimes, if a child is sick, you will have a fever, headache, and all. But these silent killers, they're just quiet you because you feel you are healthy. But at that particular time, you have not taken your reading of blood pressure. You just came from eating. Probably you had a bulk of food lunch, and then you put excessive salt, and then you think you are healthy because they are silent. They can happen at a given time. They can cause stroke.
Dude, so you are
yeah.
saying to me, because of hypertension and these things, you can just literally drop dead now.
Yeah, because they are silent. There's no. You can look at me, Phil. I'm healthy now. I'm active, but the activeness, it doesn't give those signs and symptoms to say this is happening. It's hypertension, or
Okay. So, my goodness. So basically, 1 minute you are here, 1 minute you are out, and we end up not even knowing. So, which begs to say, this thing you're saying, it was a natural cause. Some of these things are in thieves.
yeah, because you didn't do a diligent test. The postmortem can come and say, look, it's natural, but what is natural? Can you
Exactly,
they
what is
explain?
natural?
Because they don't explain that because they just silent because we eat foods that can elevate blood pressure. We eat food
What are these foods? What are these foods that can elevate blood
because
pressure?
the food like when you go to like your fast foods, we eat a lot of fast food that is oily, fatty foods that we are eating. Because those are the things like we too much salt in our diet that we are putting salt after salt, and we don't realize when we buy food, whether it's being the spice, there's a salt content in each and every spice that we have.
Yes.
So when you are busy mixing in your kitchen, you are putting a lot of salt on your food, and now that food becomes a danger to you because now, in terms of the science, they say where there's a sodium and you take water, it follows, and that increases your blood volume. So those are the aspect why sodium, which is salt, that we have to, when you reduce it, your blood pressure reduces because they are directly proportional to each other. Because the salt, it follows the blood volume. So those are the things they say. Salt intake, when you reduce, the blood volume will reduce. So those are the things which usually we, as health professional, we don't usually talk about when people comes and get medication. It's like take 1-3 times a day. Take one a day. It's where we're supposed to go also we deal with pharmacological treatment versus non-pharmacological treatment.
Please explain what
Yeah,
is that?
so the non-pharmacological one, in terms of is to do certain things like you need to reduce your salt intake, daily exercise 30 minutes a day, make sure you reduce your alcohol intake, because we are not saying stop, reduce, because right now you're being found to have this disease, but reduce all these things that are not necessary for your body, because these are the things that is killing you. And it's also putting a lot of elevation from that silent killer things.
Like you must stop eating meat.
Yeah.
But that's hard.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of discipline, but I guess at the end of the day, it's what is more important, stopping wuswa or your life? And your life that could have been impacting your kids, being there for your children at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Damn it. So, we mentioned sports now. So does playing sports, yes, you could be playing sports, but without taking care of yourself, it can still be deadly. But does it help by playing sports? What does it help with?
Playing sports is just give you just the advantage that you are active, but that you are not immune to those diseases as hypertension, diabetes, or prostate. You are playing. Yes, it gives you fair advantage in terms of how you balance your activities, which is also part of the recommendation. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you will be immune from those things to happen. You still have to do your daily checks. We have seen with sports people who are,
Attacks.
with heart attacks, to say what is that relationship with the cardiac arrest, cardiovascular diseases with someone who's so active? It's science that can explain, because so that should show us to say we are not immune to anything, even if you are active. Activeness just gives us an advantage to healthy, good lifestyle. But it doesn't mean that just because I'm healthy, I'm playing this, I must not look on the barriers to go and be tested all the time.
Maybe, let me go back to this. Maybe I'm just glancing it, taking it for granted. We spoke about hypertension and high blood pressure. I think let's break them down a little bit.
Okay.
In hypertension, what is it?
Now, hypertension and high blood pressure, it's more or less the same thing, because we deal with hypertension because it's a high level of blood that goes from your heart. So because sometimes the word hypertension, it becomes a medical term, too technical. So it's like your blood glucose versus diabetes.
No, because you see,
yeah.
I hear that, because what I want to do, I want to try for us to break it down for a layman's.
Yeah.
So the blood going to your heart, and I want to draw a different picture now. Hopefully, for whoever's listening will be learning from me from the first time, would have a direct link, because sometimes that's how we learn. If there's a direct link of something that you can actually draw, that's when it makes better sense.
Yeah, the high blood pressure, because you remember all this thing happens probably in the heart, the arteries. So when you talk about high blood or low blood pressure, it means because the arteries, you don't want to pump a lot of blood, because now the arteries have to enlarge, because there's a lot of pressure that goes to there. But the hypertension is just that is being given as the medical term.
Yes.
Then we have a blood pressure, which is the same thing. So like I spoke about the relationship between your blood volume. So it also has to do with the blood volume. Because sometimes it's like when you look at the hose pipe, let's take it to the hose pipe level. When you put a lot of pressure on it, what happens to that? When you put low pressure, then it flows. So it's the same concept. So like you go to the tap based on the pressure, and then you reduce it. So it's that concept when it comes to the blood pressure. So it's the same concept.
So
Yes. So that needs to be lowered. So that will be easy for someone to explain what happens. So in terms of you increase your blood volume start increasing, it affects your arteries, your level of your heart and all that. So that's why it's linked to that. So all that, when you reduce it, then it lowers. Now blood start flowing in a normal flow.
Is it fair then to say, even the heart attacks, and I'm using the word heart attack intentionally, not cardiac, whatever, heart attacks could also come from that?
Yes, like your stroke. People sometimes they get stroke without even realizing, because it came from the high blood pressure.
What is stroke? Remember, I'm asking, I understand it. I just want to break it down. So stroke comes, bam, you freeze. What's happening?
Yeah, it's because of it's initiated from that blood pressure. Because what are the risk of your blood pressure? So the risk of having high blood pressure will have your heart attack and your strokes. Those becomes those factors if those things not controlled. So right now you have that blood pressure that's not controlled. Then what will be those risks? That will be the risk of having stroke and your heart attack.
And those simply come from having too much salt, having too much takeaways, alcohol. It's as simple as things that we are enjoying on a daily basis.
Yeah. Because simple things like not checking where's your normal blood pressure and all that.
How often should people check their blood pressure?
I think that's it's a debate, but in terms of when you are in medication, usually it will every 6 months. But if it's a regular checkup, you can do it probably a year, every 6 months. So that varies until also because it based also on the lifestyle. Okay. Lifestyle, the history of the family is crucial, because if your lifestyle is a lifestyle where you are not engaging in activities, you are someone who probably you sit in the couch, you don't do anything. It means you need to do it regular because you are not active. But if you are someone who's active, you have a plan of probably every day you do probably 30 minutes of exercise, you can do it probably once a year. Yeah, in terms of looking at the activities of a person. So,
So
it will depend from a person to person in terms of their lifestyle, how, what is their lifestyle.
So in a nutshell, the love of salt could lead you to a stroke and a heart attack. Imagine that.
Yeah.
And it's nice to eat it. It's nice to eat mafura with its anyway. Now there's this one's now prostate cancer. Now we know strokes, they're quite common. We always hear such about strokes, and when I say Kai, I'm talking about in our communities.
Yes.
High blood pressure, we even give it a name, we call it high.
Yeah. Mahai.
It's common in throughout South African villages, or rather communities. We call it high. You know what I'm saying? It's been there. Now, before you got here, Namajita, we're talking about prostate.
Yes.
What is prostate cancer?
The prostate, it's the inflammation of your prostatitis. Yeah. So what happens? One thing probably we don't even explain, because your prostate levels, they differ according to your age.
Yes.
So if you are still probably less than 40, your prostate levels will be low. But as you grow older, they increases. So it doesn't mean when they increases, it means like now you need to start checking where's the level, because it goes with age categories. If you go now at the age of, let's say 20, you go and check, you are likely to find your prostate level to be low. But as you grow, that's why you say when you reach 40, you need to start checking where you fall in the levels. So there's a guideline that tells you.
I'll not come to that
Yeah.
guideline. I'm sure even Maganga, I think for sugar, there's a guideline. Right?
Yes, guideline. Yes.
What is that guideline for prostate?
The guideline for prostate, it's when you have from 40 probably to 50, there's a number, there's a value that you fall within to say this is the level that you must be. Your PSA must within be that. But once they reach to that certain level with your age, then you need to go and be checked, because with the technology that has improved, you can also do it also in the clinic these days. You don't have to go to the urologist now. You can do it there. Once they feel it is too high, then they can refer you. So they go with age. If you're going from 50 to 60, then it's also elevated. So it goes with age all the time. Yeah, because sometimes you might feel, why is it low at this? Because that's the range. It's the same with diabetes. There's a range where you have to be within, just the same as
Based on the age.
No, the blood pressure is the one that based on the age. There's a normal one, there's a one that goes with ages.
Okay.
So the same with the prostate. It goes with many, with the age. As you grow, your prostate levels increases. So once they in that range, you are not in that range, now it's elevated. Now it must be a concern to say probably the prostate cancer might be developing. So the PSI, it's a guide that tells you where's your level, when must I go now to go and check probably your bladder, how the flow of the urine is going in terms of that.
Because I know this because it makes a lot of men uncomfortable. That's why I'm trying to poke at it. Because there was a test that was done. I remember my dad, they did some test there to, I won't even say there because it's my dad, but you know that they had to go to your, at the back, remove, is it called biopsy? I think, I forgot what it's called, but they took a thingy, in a bit of muscle or tissue to go check. How's the testing now? How is it make it? Because a lot of men, they are uncomfortable as well.
Yeah.
Like they take a finger and they put in the anus, and you guys do something and check something. A lot of men brother, it's uncomfortable. How do we do it now to make it better? Because probably some of them are scared to go there because of that. You were saying the same thing, yay! Me, even with me, I won't lie to you. Even with me, the first time I saw it being done on my dad, I was like, nah, I know I must do this thing, but dude, I had I'll tell you now, hemorrhoids. I was 23, 24. So I had hemorrhoids. I was still staying in Pretoria. So I went to the doctor, and she asked me, so there's 2 ways that we can do this. There's some capsule thing, but we can take this capsule, put it in your anus, or we take this cream and put it on my hand. I'm like, hey, me, I'm gonna go with the cream, guys. There's no. Do you think these are some of the things that makes men to be uncomfortable going there?
Yeah, I believe because it's uncomfortable doing those tests, but if it's a need to be done, because you don't do it frequently. Yeah, it's one of the things. It's the same with, for example, women some are not comfortable doing pap smear.
Yeah,
So, but
okay.
you have to go through that because it's not probably everything that you do very often. But with current technology now, there's a lot that there's improved in terms of checking if your prostate is flowing, it's functioning okay and all that. Because if the clinics can do it, a small test these days to tell you where's your PSA level, then it's becoming easy for everybody to say, look, now we can refer you, because those are the baseline. So if everybody can just go to the baseline, and then you get your results, and then you know where you are in terms of the levels that you're supposed to be within.
So what are the signs that men should never ignore when it comes to prostate or whatever?
It will be the inflammation of the prostate itself, because
Is it painful?
Usually it's not painful, because you see when your balls are two, one will be inflamed. Yeah, so if you feel the one is inflamed, then you should, because now you start looking at the physical appearance. Why is it inflamed? Then you start worrying to say, but it's the prostate now, one is inflamed, I'm not feeling well, the physique, this other one, it's okay. So those are the physical things that you should look at most of the time. Yeah, because it will come sometimes you can also look at the urine output to say, look, I'm not urinating frequently the way I used to. It takes hard for me to urinate. What could be the blockage in terms of that? So those will be the physical things which you can check in a daily basis to say, but if I drink water, I'm not urinating the same way I'm doing. So probably there might be a blockage somewhere. So those are the things that you must also go and check to say, what is this thing that is happening? So it's a physical appearance first that you will see.
I mean, the boss one. You want to say something?
It's quite scary.
It's quite scary. But the boss one is quite even obvious. I mean,
yes,
they're the same size, those guys.
Yes.
They should be the same size. They should be the same size.
Yes.
So you saying, Kuri, the minute one.
Yeah, it's inflamed.
Hey,
yeah.
You must run as quickly as possible.
No, you just go, because you don't know why it causes that inflammation in the, whether the prostatitis there, that, so it just give you that idea that it's inflamed, then you need to go and be checked.
Okay, I know I dealt this. I know I touched it. So you think the fear is a non-starter, actually, to be honest. Why Majida should be scared of it? Because at the end of the day, it's about your life. It's about you living longer. It's about you being there for your kids and your family. Because by doing that once a year test, or knowing, because I think one thing that we can empower people by, because I know sugar is supposed to be between, if it's something between something and 7, I think.
5 to 7.
5 to 7, yes.
Yeah.
So if you know, if it's over 5, you are in trouble. Is it close to 7?
Yeah, but the range, the normal one is between 5 to 7.
Yes.
So if it goes to lower than 5, it's also dangerous, because now we are going to call it hypoglycemic phase, which is even more dangerous than the hyper one.
You see?
So those are the other aspects.
Why is it dangerous more than the other one?
Okay, because now you have it's a low sugar now.
No, we must increase it.
Now you need to increase it to be in
So
the
guys, we're dying from both sides.
Yes.
High and low.
In between, Baba.
Yeah, so it must be in that, because it's now it's also a factor, because especially hypo is even more dangerous, because when you go to the state, it means everything can fail.
If what?
If you go to less than 5, and then it goes to 3, it means a lot of your organs can fail. So when to pull it up now, it's more than when you have to reduce it. Yeah. So those are the things which also, because we talk about high blood glucose, but usually when people are on treatment, it's very crucial for them to have tests in the house, because the medication can also be the danger to a person, because it can also lower your blood glucose to level where it's not supposed to go.
So that's why they do in-house tests.
Yeah,
a
in a lot. So you know when to go and do a review in terms of the profile of your medication.
I get. Now it makes sense why a lot of these testing labs, they are within hospitals, clinics, is because it's a new test. It tells them now.
Yeah,
What's happening?
That's why you also do it at home, especially when you take those medications, because sometimes it becomes a guessing game in terms of which dose we have to put you. But if you do daily checks every day to say, look, my blood glucose is at this level, you can quickly call to a clinic or go to a doctor to say, look, I find my blood glucose is at 4. Is it normal? And then they'll advise to say, they look at your drug profile to say, look, you need to reduce this medication.
How quick can one die from when? Okay, firstly, when you now realize, good, here's prostate cancer, they test you, it's coming up, the range is now going towards. So what is the range of your prostate, before I ask this question?
Yeah, it varies. That's why on the age basis.
Oh, based on age base, okay.
Yeah,
good.
on the age
so
basis.
let's say you're at a particular age, you know
Yeah.
that it's going towards. What are then, or your testicles are swollen, urine doesn't pass the problem anymore. What are the preventative measures from there? What do they do?
Most of the thing, they will put you on the urine flow,
Okay.
which they check your urine flow, the blockage. So should they find probably, because the blockage came from the bladder and all that, so there's a specific medication that you go on. The reason why you should do the test early, it's for you not to go to find that you're in advanced stage, because people, they go while they realize, like now there's a lot of damage because now it's in advance. But if you do uroflows in your checking the urine output, because right now once the prostate is inflamed, then you're going to have a problem in terms of your urine flow, which now it becomes uncomfortable. Probably to pee, where it used to take easily, it can even take you 15 minutes just to want to pee, because right now there's a blockage. So those aspects, if you go
50 minutes.
yeah, so the urologist will do a lot of tests. It's unfortunate in a lot of places in our communities, it takes long to see those kind of specialists. That's why it's very crucial for our people to do a lot of tests, early tests, detection.
So
Yeah.
early detection, this is they detect before it comes in. What kind of medication? Do they give some medication that stops it or that balance it?
Yeah, there's a medication which you go through, because it will means you might have probably bacterial infection, leukocyte, too many leukocyte in the urine.
So that's English. Isn't this Dr. English?
So that we will start treating the causes, because usually there might be bacterial infection that is also causing a lot of proper uncomfortability. So you treat the cause that you find.
And it's cheaper, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
It's way cheaper, because now when you have to go to the chemo, what is it, chemo?
Chemo, yeah.
Chemo and all those things. First, the queue might be long.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. My grandmother died of cancer. So, was it? Yeah, what was that cancer? I forgot the name of that cancer. My point, it was a mess. It was a mess. So, when you find, you treat, and then it becomes easier, and then at the end of the day, it's very. How often does men go from prostate cancer? What do the stats say in terms of prostate cancer within the black community specifically?
I think it was high because people were not checking. People were not taking these things seriously like our counterparts, because those they had access to probably urologists. Us, we never even had such thing of specialties. It's like when you go to clinics, you don't find those type of skills in our local hospitals, so it becomes a barrier for the treatment. But now with a lot of government, with the posts they've created for specialties in a lot of hospitals, which
There's access now.
there's a lot of access because the posts are being there for each and every, probably each and everything that do with the body. The doctors, the specialties are there in government. So, and we commend the government for what they're doing to say they're going to still roll out of tertiary hospitals everywhere, that you don't have to travel from Giani to come to Gauteng to access that health. We see it with the new hospital that they're building
In the book.
yeah, so that
Oh,
people,
so that's a academic hospital.
yeah, it's going to be academic. So,
That's dope.
so those are the things which,
That's dope.
yeah. So I think, but they need to also extend it to probably primary health care, have a primary health care because it's the entry level. Like now with the pharmacy, they can do basic tests, which is good actually for normal person who cannot go to once to the neurologist.
Of course.
Yeah, so once those aspects, we start looking at the primary health care and more knowledge to, especially to entry-level community pharmacists is the place where people have access. You can just walk in, get the advice to say, what can I do in this situation? Then that advice, because a lot of clinics, pharmacy have clinics now. So it's easy to see a nurse there before you're being transferred to the specialist.
I can plug the people with my neurologist, Dr. Kotso. He's here by Waterfall. So he does my guy who did my test and everything, and find out we're talking about specialists. Could have like one of the things that you realize, and I even had this discussion on Sagis a couple of years ago when you were starting to go into a program. Could you realize that there's not enough, when you get into black doctors, specialists, there's few our age. At the age of the Dr. Court, who's over 60, there's literally, I'm sure in SA, there's
Especially
literally,
neurologists. Very, yeah.
there's 5, Charlie, 5 or 4 in the country. From Black's point of view, that tells you a lot. So I'll keep on hammering this point. The system is what created a mess within our black communities, especially the father stuff. But anyway, so the stigmas for why do you think we avoid checkups? Is it culture, like we said earlier, or we just being in denial?
I think it's just fear of the unknown to say,
Unknown Jani, Chauke, and when you go in there, you come back with the
you know, yeah. So the thing is, you must remember generally, I won't say maybe us Africans, I would just say mostly, generally, also most men don't wanna do anything with doctors. Even when you have flu,
yes.
if they say go to the doctor, yeah.
guys.
It's usually like, I just go to this care over
Yeah,
the counter.
over the counter,
You don't want
yes.
to be assessed and they'll find things.
So wait. So it's okay, because here's my argument about this.
Yeah.
How often do jitters take our cars for full diagnostics? I'm talking about our cars. How often do we do that?
It's not you, it's the car.
How often do you hear us bragging about the details of a car? How my car can do this because of I've put this, I've done this. How often do you hear that, guys?
I would do it almost every time,
So why can't we do that with our bodies?
But it goes back to the same thing. Remember the stigma of HIV/AIDS.
Yes.
It was a huge. I mean, even in the primary care clinics, you
Yes.
walk in there, and if I don't know, back in the days when you had to get those medication, those, I think it was ARVs, but
Yes.
those ones used to, yeah.
Those were many.
People were scared.
Yes.
People died because they were scared
Scared.
just to go out there. Because the nurses themselves, they
So
will
ba-
be the one that says, it's come on and so.
Yes. And it still happened.
Yeah.
It still happens even now.
Yeah.
Especially in the rural areas, in the villages where we come from, there's a small village, so
Yeah.
we know each other.
other, yes.
So there's that stigma.
How do we solve that, gents? Because at the end of the day, when a person dies, we end up not talking about Kore. We contributed to their death,
Yes.
whether we like it or not, because for the fact that we laughed at them, we spoke bad about them, we made them feel funny, we contributed to their death. To a point where people are more welcoming of dying than being laughed at. Imagine that. Imagine being okay with dying than admitting I am sick because Fumani will laugh at me. I think those are things that I think we need to find a way of, okay, how do you go around the testing? How do you kind of create programs where we encourage testing because at the end of the day, we need these people to be alive, to be there for their children. You know, that's the whole point. So, which is what I want to ask you, how do they make sure that the checkups, and the act, we strengthen the checkups and the responsibility? What are the others that you think we should do to strengthen that? Because we have to strengthen it.
I think the most important thing is also to create wellness. The same way with when women speak about breast cancer, for them it's normal. So we need to normalize things for us as men to say, look, it's no to go and be checked. It's leave those stigma aside, but being checked, it's also good for it doesn't mean you are weak. Let's strengthen that awareness that we have, like we had Women's Month. How often do men saying, are we neglecting also that part of where men wellness is very crucial? Because men, we suffer from many things. It's mental issues, we don't talk. It's a issue of suicide, we don't talk because we bottle up everything because of the societal way of doing things. But I'm happy because these days, things are changing because if you need a test to be done, there are doctors which can come into your house. But the problem is, what about the people in the rural areas who don't have such access? Then it becomes that barrier to say, those who have access are the ones that are going to live. So it's another thing which principals have to be taught also in our facilities about confidential issues. Because people, they still travel to go to far clinics because they know if I go travel 45 km to a clinic where they don't know, nobody's going to know me. But if I stand in the same clinic, a nurse, because probably something happens, they'll start talking. That's why we look at the government, how they change stuff. Even medication now, you can get your packaging at home now for your medicine. Nobody will know. You just go to the clinic, they review your checkup. That's it. Your medication gets sent at home. So
how does it send it home?
No, like you subscribe to, you go, if it's a clinic, you choose pickup points. There are things we call it pickup points.
I'm seeing a business opportunity there. Of having delivery scooters back home in the villages.
Yeah. So those are the aspects which, because they realize this stigma, especially what you talk about, people were afraid to go and take their treatment. People will die in solo because if you go and take, somebody knows that you are taking treatment. Now that person who doesn't understand confidentiality.
The ARV.
Yes.
They say that.
Yes.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah.
The person's trying to leave and you're making fun of them.
Yeah, because it's issues of education from the professional health points of view to say confidentiality is very crucial. Yeah.
So, what advice do you give wives, children, or loved ones to try to convince fathers to go test? What must we do? How do you convince these people to convince their people? Because all the time the wife will say, "Hey, Papa, you're not well. Don't do it," and it becomes an issue. Because how do we then convince our people, our wives, our children, to convince our fathers? To good dealers, do we tell them, Kuri, you must threaten them, you will die, I'm going to go marry someone else?
Or maybe different elements. To say, no, maybe we need you, man. We need you to stay longer. We need you to, as a father, to be here in the family. We still need you.
Because I think those are maybe other things that we can do, Theo.
Yes.
To say, involve a family somewhat. Do you think that will work as part of the convincing mechanism? Because we need to Soul City this, guys. Soul City made HIV a norm.
Yes.
They made TB to be a norm. TB and HIV are not an issue anymore. So how do we then involve a community or family to say, hey, test the child? You know, having said that, what I put a couple of stuff here in terms of what needs to, what are the tests that we need to do on a yearly basis. You know, the practical solutions for men. What are these non-negotiable tests?
The non-negotiable ones, because if you look at the hypertension, because it affects a lot of things. The risk that comes with that is very huge. You know, you can neglect not to do your blood pressure checks, and then that can cause you a heart attack, can cause you stroke. Some of these things are irreversible. My father just had a stroke because it's the same thing. He felt he was okay until the day that he got a stroke, realizing, look, when you tell someone, look, you should do your checks, you feel he's a strong guy, but you realize that after that stroke, he was no longer the same. But if he has taken that time,
which is not a lot, guys.
Yeah, taken that time to say, let me just go to the clinic. Like we said, we can talk about our cars, but what about yourself, your body? Because probably if you took that time, let me go to the clinic and take that blood pressure, you could have avoided that stroke that you felt. If I go there, what will people say? So those things, it's non-negotiable. You look at your blood glucose. Blood glucose also, as you grow older, because we have type 1 and type 2. Type 2 is the one is lifestyle modification, the lifestyle that we live. And now suddenly you are living right now, your blood glucose is starting to rise because of the life that you are living. So you can't. The prostate is also non-negotiable factors. Your kidney function, because blood pressure can also affect your kidneys. So those are the things which you can't go without checking. Whether you want to do it more often or once a year, but at least get checked. Just know that you've been checked, so you understand where you are in terms of that. Because
it's a recent like a car that needs service.
Yeah, because if you look at the Cuban methodology of doctors, the Cuban, they believe in preventing the disease more than the treatment itself.
I love that.
Yeah, so if we can put that methodology in place.
Where in the capitalist way of doing things.
Yeah, so if we put that methodology of having that mindset of preventing things, then preventing such things doesn't require a lot. It's all about checkup. It's all about lifestyle. We're not saying don't go and eat salt. Reduce means whatever amount. Like now you used to eat a lot. Check when you buy food, you are spicy. Check those salt content that you are putting. It can save you life.
Take supplements.
Yes.
These moringa things that are out there. Take these supplements to your testosterone. I mean, all these things, they could help, isn't it?
Yes, because if we can just do those basic stuff, and then we can take it for granted to say, but this thing, but you realize in the long run, actually this thing will save you more than just now. So you still have to be in treatment, because treatment is not nice, because now you're gonna be we give you 4 types of medicine to control something that could have been prevented if you just went to basic stuff, healthy lifestyle, walk 30 minutes a day, reduce this intake, don't take this. We're not saying don't take them. We are saying minimize. Minimize, it can go a long way, because you can't tell someone, no, don't eat salt. It's highly impossible. Yes, just minimize the intake and become active. Walk 30 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day.
Lifestyle changes, what do you think should be?
Lifestyle changes is those modifications where you start having awareness when you do stuff, because we live in the world where things are quick. We have quick meals. It doesn't mean you can't go to takeaways. Go to the takeaways that they will be healthy for you. You can go to any shop, you ask them to say, look, I need meat that doesn't have salt. So daily activities, take a walk a day with kids. If you love kids, just take a walk. If you stay anyway,
And it creates a bond with them as well.
Yeah.
You see what it does? You hit one stone, but in one bed with one stone.
yeah, you're taking a walk in the daily basis. You only need 150 minutes. Of,
It's those little things that can literally lifestyle changes that you just adjust with, like you're saying. You're not saying stop. It's just adjust.
adjust. 30 minutes a day, it's 150 minutes a week. So that you can utilize it for you to prevent anything that can happen.
Let me give you a practical example with that.
Yeah.
So June, I saw my neurologist. I had a procedure, which I will discuss. I will have a special episode for it. So I'm now infertile.
Okay.
I did a vasectomy. So, but we'll get deep into that. So, but before that, of course, he took tests and everything. He said to me, dude, your sugar, because I know I like sugar. He said, no, your sugar is a bit high. Your glucose as well, to try to balance, because I know when glucose breaks down, when carbohydrates breaks down, it eventually becomes sugar and all that stuff. So he said, no, I'm not saying you must stop eating pap. Eat this size. Do this, do this, do this. I want to show you what happened. I don't want to say it. Check this. When he told me to reduce, I want to show you how much weight I lost. So he told me to stop a month, right? Where is this? Good. He said to me, stop. I was at 97 kgs. 97.5. You see that? When is this? May. Right? Now, in July, I'm 92. I did nothing. I just changed my eating. I walked more. In 2 months, less than a month actually, I had lost 5 kgs. So you're right, Theo. Lifestyle changes, it puts us in a better position than anything. So as we're concluding, Mr. Chauke, one challenge that every father that's watching right now, what's the one health challenge that you can give every father watching right now? One health challenge.
Call it a 30 minutes routine. Work with your kids. Ask your kids to ask anything that related to health issues. That way it can strengthen your bond in terms of awareness, because if you let them ask you anything but don't ask them any question, open up, work with them in a daily basis, be active with their activities. That will keep you also in terms of your health style, the bond with the kids. So put it in there to be saying it's a 30 minutes activities a day, or it's a awareness that you can create for your families to say, we're gonna take 30 minutes a day for a walk or anything that has to do with walking. Whatever you do, just keep moving.
So the one that I'm going to put from my side is this one. No? This is a dad's dilemma scenario. Gents, you feel perfectly healthy, no symptoms, but your wife insists you go for a checkup. Do you listen, or do you brush it off? What should fathers do in this case?
You have to listen. for your better, to better your health, and for a long living, to see, you have to listen.
So you just have to, hey, right now, I'm out. So guys, in a nutshell, listen to. I think the call to action here, you know, things that we cannot do without. And these are essential checkups, you know. I put a list here to say full medical tests. Blood pressure and checkup, which he tested the hypertension, blood sugar, Now HbA1c, that's type of diabetes, isn't it?
Yeah, blood glucose.
Yes. You know, cholesterol test, you know, kidney and liver function test, a PSA test for prostate and cancer.
Yes.
It's like cholesterol screening,
Yeah.
you know. Weight, BMI. You see what I did because my BMI, it's little things, little things.
Yeah.
Whenever I say to people, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, "Kuru, I'm overweight," they would look at me like, "What do you mean you're overweight? What do you mean overweight?" No, because I was 97 kgs, my BMI
Yes.
was saying, "Kuru, you are overweight." But I didn't look the normal overweight duda
Appearance.
that people were seeing it and viewed as. My BMI as I looked overweight. I was overweight, not I looked, I was overweight, you know? And then of course HIV and STI screenings, I test, like I said, I felt funny, I went and I checked. And he said, no, Chief, you are losing your eyesight. For now, this is what we can do. He gave me some eye drops to use for now to get my thing better. You see what I'm saying? You know? And of course, here's the other important one. Mental health screening. How do you check for this one? Where do you go for the mental health screenings and stuff like that? Is there government facilities where one can go there?
I think those are one you can use to approach. You can go through social worker or psychologists because that's where
How
you.
do psychology is?
So I think they easy because the government also have access to psychologists with which is less amount.
Okay, good.
Yeah, or because these days also you can go into because they created online mechanism for people who suffer from mental illness. So it became actually you can have access to that.
Can I those things? Those I know those tests. What are those tests?
Wellness tests.
No,
I know what Discover have those wellness tests online.
no, but there's a wait for this one. I'll tell you now. You know those tests, man. But they check you with what kind of person you are.
Psychometrics.
Psychometric.
Yeah.
Such tests.
Yeah, you can do those basic ones because we get overwhelmed with many things especially as fathers. Like
Hey, my brother.
you have to support the support system. We go from different challenges because overwhelmed with bills, kids wanting all these things. So those things
I mean, how many times is one can
yeah. So sometimes we take things for granted to say, and it can affect you because you start looking, not having interest in anything because like now we are overwhelmed with the environment that you are in. And they will say, probably it's this thing, but it's crucial. Yeah, but also speaking to your friends, we know men, they don't open up. Sometimes you need to find a body which you know, which is closer to you, that you know you can go and relate. Because we have, I think men just have issues with that if I tell you something, it's going to be there, confidentiality and all that. But if you can find one body where you know, if you're going through something, you just make that call.
Yeah, but also, I think we need to get to a point where, I think that's where I am, President. I really don't care who thinks what about me. Like, if I say something to someone and you're going to have a certain way of how you feel, so what? You're not going to change anything. I think we also need to go to that level, hopefully. But it's not for everyone, but that's where I switch to that. But yeah, gents, we cannot be worried about who said what about you, whilst it's going to compromise your life. And when your life is compromised, think about this way. Think about this way. Guys, if you vie now, when I say vie, I'm telling you die. Your kids, someone's going to have to compromise something for your kids. As much as we are both parents, as much as my kids have their mothers, what I planned for my kids in certain ways is not how she's going to execute it. How she's planned certain things for her children is not how I'm going to execute it. When I vie, clearly certain things are going to change. And they're going to be compromised. That's what it means at the end of the day. So clearly what you are saying, if you don't want to do checkups, if you don't want to check yourself, if you don't want to check your whatever, you've brought kids in this world that you don't love, actually. you claim that you love them. In a nutshell. You can't tell that you love your kids, but you're going to die because you're scared to go test, because someone's going to say that, oh, look at Ntlanta, he was at a testing station. So what?
Yes.
You know?
So it goes back to that thing. I think one of our former presidents, there's a word, the K word that the other counterpart uses a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, it doesn't affect me.
Yes.
Why are you worried? When someone says you're a dog and you're not a dog, why are you worried that someone calls you a dog and you're not a dog? Why are you worried? You're not.
You are
So
not.
just,
Yeah.
You just look at them and you laugh. He said, but why I'm not worried about what they're saying about me.
Yeah.
I know who I am. I know what I want. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you know where you're going.
You know where you go. So why,
Hi, man. So anyway, Mr. Theo, any last words, my brother, with this particular topic? Because we spoke about the guy that, woman who helped with the basketball stuff, Corey, he also died early. Any tribute for that, towards that?
It's to create awareness to say disease doesn't matter on your age. It can happen at a given time. I mean, we lost Temba. He was still probably in high school, if I'm not mistaken, from cancer. I forgot which cancer he had. And for us, it was a stigma. We didn't even know all these things that can happen, to say at that early age, because nobody never talks about those things.
No.
No.
Because someone, you know how normally it comes out in communities.
Yeah.
We say,
Yeah.
we normally default to such talks.
Yes.
With him, nothing like that happened.
No, nothing
Thank God.
happened. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of like now I have a friend who just find out that he has a colon cancer
Colon
now.
cancer. Oh, my grandmother died of colon cancer.
Yeah. So it's kind of a hard, especially we don't talk. I mean, the guy he's not even at 50. It's at around 40, probably 47. You just find out now, because it's those things like you are losing weight, you don't know what's happening, you go to the hospital, they check, until you say, look, let me go to
Specialist.
Gauteng. You see, like now it's a big problem. So I think final words is to say, guys, let's not take this for granted. It's a routine check that can save you a life and can give you more years. 30 minutes of routine, probably every 6 months or once a year. It can just save your life in many things. It's the radiation in Kamo. It's not the nice medication that you want to get involved in. It strikes you, and then once there, because it can kill also the good cells in your body.
It does.
Yeah. So to all the gentlemen there is to say, create your own wellness or awareness in your communities, where, as much as we talk about football, let's take it as also to be proud about. If we talk about our illnesses, to say, let's go for checkup. Let's encourage one another. If we have to go, make it as a team to go laugh about it, but we go through that, make it a lifestyle to such things.
Shouldn't we do that, Chauke? I know I said we're closing, but shouldn't we create clubs, we create programs where, and I like what Taki said. Thanks, Taki, for suggesting this. We need to have an intentional drive where, imagine, fine, we're going to put beer for one beer there, but let's first test before you go do a beer. Can't we do such things? Because
like remember that day, our last shoot.
yes, Elijah.
That day, no.
Ndebo, yes.
Ndebo, yes. The Ndebo was mentioned this thing already. You meet in Chisanyamas. We must move away now. This thing we just meet to eat and drink. There must be a reason behind it, a purpose. Health issues. Let's say one day we say Fumani is crying, bring the friends. We ask say to come and sit with us. And start raising issues. Such things. Because if Majita were we are going to be talking about this.
Don't come.
Most men they start now documenting.
Yeah.
Just bring the meat and the drinks and the food, and then we start the topic randomly.
Yes.
So basically, what you're saying, we should adapt. We should find a way of, because we've seen, Kuri, the conventional way doesn't work.
Yes.
Yes.
But people are dying. And that's a fact.
Yeah.
So let's find a different way of
Approaching.
this.
I mean, to be honest, I just, okay, maybe it's individual things where I don't understand the concept of having to go to, I like to go out, but every weekend, you just, every Sunday, when, you know what I mean? So maybe because we are family people, there's no balance, you know.
Yeah.
For me, I like spending time with my kids. Especially with my family, I like to cry for them, chill with them. I don't have issues with my wife and kids.
Last night I met with Itegan.
Yeah.
So during the meeting we were talking, it's like, no, let's go out. Let's go get something to eat at one of the restaurant. We got there, the restaurants were closed, right? At the Central Mall. Eventually, you know, there's a Shisanyama.
Yes.
So we go there, we buy meat. You know what I asked him? I'm like, there was a lot of people last night there. And last night, today's a Monday, né? That we shoot this episode. It's a Sunday, yes, last night. I asked him, aren't you going to work tomorrow?
For money, you must go there every Sunday. You'll see. I stay just not far from Central Chisanyama.
Yes, exactly.
So I know, you'll find cars and you'll be like, am I missing something? It's a standard procedure.
Like, what? Like, it doesn't, I don't understand that as well. I'm like you, brother.
Yeah.
I don't understand the whole, I'm blaming Majita. I'm going to Majita concept. I don't understand that. I'm like, what are you guys doing every day, every weekend? Mara, I think, let's use that as an advantage.
Yeah.
Let's take those, because we can't change Majita thing. Let's take that and bring those tests there.
You can do it. I mean, you're right. You know what you do? You have events, we do marathons, we cycle, you know?
Yes.
You go to the cycling event, there's some random dude walking around giving you things about maybe, oh no, do you want to come here and do blood test about 1, 2, 3, 4?
Screening,
Yes.
Screening, you know, those kind of things.
Rent a spot.
Rent a spot there, you know.
Gazebo, put your own things there. After the race, people go via.
They
Yes.
value, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, and people now using events to now, you know, inflict, you know, health issues. Special magic, I'm telling you, do that, which is a
Because we need to be very practical, guys. We need to be very intentional. We need to increase the life expectancy of black men.
Yeah.
If we don't do that, we'll further continue with the stigma, or not stigma, with the results of having fatherlessness.
Yeah.
That thing won't stop.
But you spoke about the system, and they're happy to fund that.
No, they're happy to fund that.
You've got this other company, which I won't mention their name, Purple Company, betting and stuff.
You know,
The balance is not there.
They put money so much on
Into
things
things which
that
are destructive.
will be social destructive.
Yeah.
A lot of money. They made, you know how much betting companies made last year, guys? Over $1 trillion. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous, guys.
And when you ask them, what are you doing to, let's say, Kokas, what is, whatever company, these betting companies, has done, Kokasi, to put back maybe the CSI project? Or they'll tell you, no, we opened a shop and you hired people.
And guess what other one they do? Which is not a bad thing, but a bad thing. They say, no, we started a sports center there.
Yeah.
Where kids go play
Kids
sports.
go and play soccer.
It's a way of going back to betting.
But that's a way.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
It's the route.
So, hey guys, it's a lot. But we're not going to stop this. We're definitely going to stop this. We're going to create a drive. Chisanyama, we're going to find you there. Once you chow your meat and we're going to test you once your high cholesterol, what. So guys, this is the father's chair where men feel, they speak, and they sit down on the chair to lead. We thank you, Theo, for coming, Chauke. My brother, we've known each other for a long time. I'm glad that we're sitting down, not only basketball, but talking about things that will change life, that eventually will increase this life expectancy, because we want fathers to be there, we want fathers to feel, we want fathers to lead, we want fathers to protect their children by testing. It's a silent killer, this thing. Fathers share, subscribe, like, and share.
Before you close, for money,
Before I close, yeah?
I just want us to say rest in peace to DJ Poison, which had an accident apparently driving with DJ Chama Music.
Do you guys know him?
Yes, we know them. And Chama Music, with the other guys, we wanted to partner with them in the EQ camp for men. So Chama Music is part of that. He's actually the custodian, the founder.
Yeah, okay.
So we
Is
just
it?
want to say, yeah, he's in ICU recovering, and we pray for him as well. So we just want him to,
No, like, you know,
to recover very well.
I saw
yeah.
that over the weekend that some DJs died, but so he's the
Yes.
guy that was supposed to.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh my
yes,
goodness.
yes. So we just shout out to Chima, and we're praying for them with the family. And
What
rest in
happened?
peace to
It's an
DJ
accident. What
Poison.
happened?
It's a car accident.
Car accident on the N1
And then from Pulukwan.
from Kulugan.
Ish, chance.
Yeah. Hey.
Ish, chance.
Very sad, but yeah, we keep them in the.
Yeah, because for me it goes to again because see, we spoke about Majid having to go work, the pressures that we go through.
Yeah.
Part of it, man. Yes.
These are part of the
Yeah.
things that we, because I mean,
They both of them just launched an album, by the way. DJ Poison launched his album more or less the same week. I'm not sure about the date. Yeah.
And they went to Pulukwan to promote.
To promote, they were busy promoting the album. So it's one of those, it's work. It's men
work.
at work. So
Men at work.
These are the pressures these
Men
are the
at
things
work.
they meet up with,
Yeah.
rest in peace, my brother. Rest in
Yeah.
peace, and please keep pushing by ICU there. You are in our prayers. We hope you get out, and because there's a lot of work that needs to be done
Yeah.
to protect this Majid, especially the black man.
Yeah.
Peace. Sharp.
The rap.